Hi, welcome to Brady's Blunders, where I show you the mistakes in my games, hoping you don't make the same ones in yours. In Huang recently characterized my game in this way. And he said, Brady, you play very well in the opening and the early middle game. He says, 2 to 3 down European. And you're consistently getting a lead. But then all of a sudden something clicks and you play a 5K move. Sometimes it's a 7K move. And ouch. I mean, it hurt to hear that. But the reason it hurt is because it's true. After all, I'm not known for my brilliance. I'm known for my blunders. And it's something that's been happening quite a lot still lately. And I'm trying to get to the bottom of it. And I'm trying to improve it. And when he reviewed this game, he said, the cause of your loss in this game is slack moves. And once again, you developed a really good opening. You had quite the advantage, but you found a way to make slack move after slack move and lose. And I lost by 5.5 points. So let's take a look at what he's talking about. And this is the first question here. I'm playing white. And already the game is advantageous to me because I've pincered this group and it's pretty weak, and this black group down here is weak. So I've got 2 targets, so the opening is good for me. And so I've just pincered here, and my opponent is moving out here. So if you were white, where would you play next and why? And I'm going to ask, I think, 5 questions in this video, and this will be the only one I recommend that if you want to think about it, go ahead and pause, but it does hold true for the rest. So go ahead and pause if you like. Okay, I played here, and the idea behind this move is this group still isn't completely alive, and this move keeps the 2 definitely separated. And if I can keep pressuring these in Sente, then the attack on these stones should be pretty savage. That was my reasoning. And it was okay. And this characterizes so many of the moves. They're okay, but not the best. And I need to be more severe. So this actually comes down to a shape. And when you get this shape, like this, right? The white stones against these black stones, you actually don't see it that often in the game because there's a real shape problem for black. And that is this move by white is super annoying, right? Because black's natural instinct is black wants to go ahead and block white. But then when white plays here, you can see that there's a cutting point here and a cutting point here. And I mean, can black really play this ko? It looks very doubtful. And additionally, black's not going to want to go ahead and connect there and let me completely control the outside and live tiny. So no matter what happens, as long as I play this Hane first, I'm going to get a really good result. But you have to pay attention to the shape and you have to know it. And I missed it completely. I was just trying to get the whole board advantage, and I wasn't as severe as I should have been locally. Okay. Next problem. Okay. So next is here, and I've just made a living shape with this move here. I've got an ugly clump, but the game is still very good for me because I've been able to move out here, these stones are getting weaker, and this group still isn't completely alive. So black decided to help this group, the bigger group, right here. And I went ahead and said, great, I'm going to attack these stones. And then black played here. So if you were white, where would you play now? Okay, this move surprised me, right? And so what I was expecting black to play is something like this. And then I was going to come out and we'd fight. And hopefully I could kill it, but even if not, I figured it would still be okay. So this was my expectation, that she would actually try to help. that group. And when she didn't and played here, I was like, oh, I'll play where, and I didn't even think about it very long. I'll just play where I think she should have. And I was happy because now I've captured those 2 stones. And indeed, this is, again, that sort of good enough solution that isn't really good enough. I mean, the game is still good for white, but it could have been better. I could have played here and claimed still more. I mean, this move is still killing these stones pretty dead, but actually starting to seal off this part of the territory as well. So this would have been a significantly better move, and the move I actually played was slack. Next, black invaded the corner. And one of the things that we know is if the group in this shape right here, where black invades the corner, if this group is weak, you should descend. So I did. So this is a good move. This is proper in this situation. And then black followed it up with this. And this leads to the next game problem. And that is, can black live with these stones? And if so, then what's my best local sequence to minimize the damage? And if I can kill black, how do I do it? What's the sequence that's going to work here? And I think I read this for a few minutes and decided that black should die. And that was correct. And I played here. And that was correct. This is the move that guarantees that black can't live. But when my opponent played here anyway, all of a sudden I lost confidence in my reading. And I realized that if black is able to play this move, it's sente, right? Because black is going to threaten to capture these. And then in my mind's eye, all of a sudden black was going to be able to get 2 eyes. And that was false because it just doesn't work. The reason this move is good is because it helps protect against that, right? When black plays here, I can play here. And sure, black can get that forcing move. But then she can only make 1 eye. She can make an eye with this move here, but then I take away the second eye like this, or she can play this, but then I can make it a 1 eye shape with right here. So black should die. And this is what I read. So I have no idea what happened to me. But then all of a sudden, when she continued with this, I was like, oh, it doesn't work. And then I set a new objective, which was how do I minimize the size of this group, right? Give it as few points as possible, number 1. Number 2, I want to finish in sente, right? And number 3, I want to fix this defect here. So I decided if I can do those things, then I'm reasonably happy and the game is still good. And I did that by playing here. She played this sequence and played here, and that's it. It's now done, right? I've closed this gap off, so mission accomplished. I finished in sente, so mission accomplished, and she's only got a few points. So again, the game is still good for white, but a corner that shouldn't have lived did. So I can't be satisfied with that. All right. So now, much later in the game, black has just played this crosscut, but things to look at is first, the game is still very good for white. I've been able to live in the upper right-hand corner and reduce black's side and live in the center. So the game is good, and black played this crosscut. So the problem is I'm going to be Oyomi. And when I looked at this, I thought black's trying to do one of 2 things. She's either trying to capture these 2 stones or connect to these 2 stones and take a lot of points that way. And in Byoyomi, I actually misread the situation a little bit. And I thought she could do one or the other. I didn't see a way to stop it. Now my first move was good. And actually this is the key move in stopping it. So this Atari. But then I pulled back this way to make sure she couldn't connect to these stones, thus giving her both of those stones that we talked about. And so black was able to achieve one of her objectives. But the sad part is, if I just play here, and black answers, I can still play that move and keep black from connecting and capture the stone anyway. So if I just save this for one more move, the situation is very good for me. And remember, I lost this game by 5.5 points. Black capturing this stone and this stone was a lot bigger than that. But actually, I mean, I think I can even do it this way. And I read in my mind very quickly a continuation like that, where I thought I could get into trouble and black would be able to rescue these stones because I had a shortage of liberties. But that's just fooling myself. Black can't do it, and I should have been all right there. All right. So then when black captured here and I captured here, black played here. It's a little bit slow, and it gave me Sente. And I decided that with Sente that I wanted to come pressure this group and grow the upper right. So where would you play to do that? I think I thought about this for all of 2 seconds, and I played here. Black answered here, I played here, black connected here, and I connected here. So this was not a good exchange. It was a little bit slack. And the reason is, you see that black's got the 2 second line stones here, and I've got the 1. And if I just show another variation, I should have played like this. And if we just change the shape a little bit, this way, you see I have 2 stones here and black has 1. So what's the difference? Well, it's more than the 1 point, right? In the other shape black was here, and in this shape I'm here. All right, that's 1 point. But the real difference is the continuation from here is clearly Sente for white. And with the actual game continuation, the continuation is Sente for black. So it's actually a lot bigger than the 1 point shift. And again, I only lost this game by 5.5 points. This also pretty much covers it. And this shape can be good. There are times that you want to make this shape, but that's when the influence of the shape pointed outwards is going to be useful. And in this case, it wasn't. Black played right here. Okay. One more slack move, and that is later in the game, black played here. So if you were white, where would you play now? All right. And there are a lot of times that the move that I played is correct. When your opponent is moving into, your big area, it's often correct to move a line away and just, hold the fort as they enter. And if you try to secure it too tightly, they're going to be able to worm their way in. And that's what I played here. But it allowed a continuation later on where black could play this. And let's see. I think I blocked this way, and that black played this, and I had to block this way. And you can see that she's constantly pushing, and I'm constantly answering, and each of these moves is costing me a point. So this move was truly slack. And it should have been here. And you can see that there's really nothing black can do. This shuts the door tightly and says to black, there's nothing here for you. I mean, really, what are you going to do? Maybe that's about the worst of it. And this is more than 5 points better for white than the actual game. So again, my move was slack. All right, so what's the conclusion or the theme from this video? And I actually think this is something that affects most of us. And that is, even in a winning game, you can find a whole lot of slack moves. But where it's really frustrating is in a game that you lose by a few points and you can find a whole bunch of them. A was slack at the very beginning. Instead, I should have taken advantage of that bad shape. And then, of course, this was horrible. The corner should have been mine. And I had read it correctly, and then I didn't have faith in my own reading. Oh, yeah. This pullback here, terrible. Gave black way too many points. This should have been my territory. So this was a lot more than the 5.5 points that I lost by. Touching here cost points because black was able to reduce my upper right-hand corner instead of me reducing her top. And then finally, backing off without thinking here. I should have just shut the door. Each of these mistakes were at least 5 points. I think InSong basically implied that he's going to be severe with me as I play slack moves going forward. That he feels this is my biggest problem, and my concentration seems to be very good early in the game, but then I just kind of take it easy and play slack. And he's going to let me know about it when he sees it again. I know I'm not the only one who makes slack moves, but this was a good opportunity to sort of show them and define them. And when a game is really close at the end and you've got a whole bunch of mistakes that are each bigger than the 5.5 or whatever that you lost by, yeah, it really helps to find those slack moves, identify them, and then hopefully eliminate them from your game in the future. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.